Mom's twins born different colors. 16 years later, this is what they look like. Throughout the years, numerous articles have captured widespread attention by delving into the intriguing phenomenon of fraternal twins who are born to the same parents but possess totally different racial backgrounds. I believe we have made a breakthrough in comprehending the fundamental patterns that lie beneath this phenomenon. Fraternal twins, also known as dizygotic twins, are a specific type of twin that are commonly referred to using the scientific term. Every twin starts out as a distinct fertilized egg during conception. Identical twins, or monozygotic twins, are born when a single fertilized egg divides into two. Each set of identical twins receives a unique combination of genes from their parents. Identical twins are created when a single egg splits, resulting in two genetically identical individuals. On the other hand, fraternal twins occur when two separate eggs are fertilized by two different sperm, leading to siblings who share about 50% of their genetic material. Identical twins can display a captivating phenomenon called mirroring, where their skin tones remain consistently the same, regardless of other factors. It would appear that being born to a black father, who is of Jamaican descent, is associated with an increased likelihood of having twins who are of different races, which is a really amazing phenomenon. On the other hand, fraternal twins can display significant differences in themselves, such as differences in race, complexion, and physical traits. The differences can be quite noticeable. The combination of two eggs and two sperms results in the transfer of a wide variety of genes from both of the organism's parents. Unique genetic compositions are produced as a result of the combining of various genes during the process of conception. There is a wide range of variants that can be seen in parents who come from mixed racial origins. While referring to twins, the term biracial identity is uniquely used to describe those who have different skin tones. It is possible for children to be born with a wide variety of skin tones if either of them or both of their parents come from a history of mixed-race backgrounds. It is also possible for them to have parents of various races, as for one parent being black and the other being white. There is a common misconception that these two young ladies are identical twins. However, this is not the case. There is a possibility that this photograph was distributed in a manner that gives the impression that the individuals in question had various skin tones. One of the members of the group is Ava Clark. There was immediate apprehension upon Ava Clark's arrival, as her uniqueness was immediately visible. Her lips were adorned with a beautiful pink hue, her complexion was fair and perfect, and her hair was glowing with a gorgeous shade of blonde. Her eyes were a hypnotic blend of blue and green. Considering the fascinating history of her biological parents, as well as her beautiful and appealing appearance, it is quite surprising that she has achieved this. Clark, who is currently 8 years old, is a young woman who has achieved success in the modeling world. She is charming and accomplished, and she has found success so far. Because of albinism, she has a distinctive appearance. Albinism is a genetic disorder that causes a lack of pigmentation in the skin, eyes, and hair. It is possible for people of different racial backgrounds to be affected by albinism. It is generally not considered to be hazardous to one's overall well-being, despite the fact that it can cause problems with one's eyesight and sensitivity to sunlight. Since Clark was a young child, she has been subject to genetic testing as well as maintaining regular eye checkups. The gloomy prognosis was given to her by medical authorities when she was only 4 years old. She would almost certainly lose her vision. An outstanding accomplishment was done by the young woman who was able to finish the examination that was given by the school that serves visually impaired students in her state. At the moment, Ava is attending a traditional education establishment, and she is in need of spectacles in order to rectify her vision because of her condition. On the other hand, much like many other children, she occasionally needs a little prod to remind her to put them on. It is quite inspiring to be able to see the triumph of a young person who is radiant in both their character and appearance, as they overcame a challenging diagnosis and confronts deeply rooted biases that are prevalent in society. The resilience with which they are able to recover from setbacks is absolutely admirable. One of the twins is black and the other is white. They were both born with different skin tones, and now they are exposing their incredible and extraordinary story. Marcia and Millie Biggs, two remarkable young girls, bravely open up about their encounters with racism and the frequent inquiries they receive regarding their twinship. Marcia has a fair complexion, complemented by her strikingly blue eyes and beautiful blonde hair, which she inherited from her mother. Millie's appearance is a clear reflection of her Jamaican heritage, inherited from her father. Her dark skin, brown eyes, and black hair all contribute to the unique features. Although not particularly prevalent, research indicates that this occurrence impacts around 1% of fraternal twins. This is an extraordinary occurrence that takes place only very occasionally, as the mother has described it. The piece, which was published in the April issue of National Geographic, went into the personal stories of the two young women who defied stereotypes and addressed societal expectations that were associated with their racial backgrounds. On the 3rd of July 2004, the girls were brought into the world of Birmingham, England. Their parents did not appear to care about what other people thought of their relationship, despite the fact that they came from different backgrounds. They used the same method with their offspring, despite the fact that their children came from a variety of different racial origins. Due to the fact that Marcia Biggs and Millie Biggs had skin tones that were very close to one another, the parents initially believed that their daughters appeared to be virtually identical. The skin tones of the infants began to exhibit a greater range of brilliant hues when they were approximately 10 months old. Millie, who was the first person to see the metamorphosis that took place. During an interview with Good Morning America, the father, Michael Biggs, highlighted the progressive alteration that took place in his daughter's looks during the course of the interview. "We really didn't consider it much, we just accepted it," Michael said in an interview with a site that is affiliated with National Geographic. Since the girls were infants, we have been paying close attention to them in order to gain an understanding of the various aspects that embrace their personalities. During the early stages of our daughters' lives, I frequently enjoyed taking them for leisurely walks in the park. People would rapidly change their eyes from me to one of the girls, and then to the other as I walked past. This would happen as I walked by. People would always, without fail, inquire, "Are they twins?" In every single instance, Amanda, the mother, yelled out in surprise. Every time the reaction remained unchanged. "One is white and the other is black." Her answer was usually a strong and enthusiastic yes, and she would give the answer without any hesitation. Her reactions were always positive. It was confirmed by her that the genetics do, in fact, play a substantial impact. She made it clear that those passing by the girls never displayed any hostility towards them. On the contrary, they found the girls' distinct qualities fascinating, which gave off a sense of camaraderie rather than familial ties. Over time, people started recognizing and admiring their exquisite beauty, Amanda declared. There had been instances where their twinship had been questioned, and some people unfairly assumed that they had been dishonest. Marcia revealed during an interview with Good Morning America, highlighting the prejudice she had encountered. The woman exhibited a tremendous amount of compassion regarding the topic at hand. Millie presented a more in-depth definition of racism, focusing on the fact that it is characterized by persons making judgments simply based on the color of a person's skin, without taking into consideration that the person's genuine identities and characteristics. Marcia conveyed her worry about the destructive implications of racism, emphasizing its tremendous emotional toll on individuals. Michael, the father, is aware of the fact that racism has been present in his life and accepts that the times have significantly altered. On the other hand, he and his wife Amanda are certain in their assertion that they have never personally experienced any instance of racist behavior directed towards their daughters. Even when they are confronted with criticism regarding their appearance, the girls assert with complete assurance that they have never been in a position like this before. The fact that we are seen together frequently leads folks to believe that we share a close connection. Marcia went into further detail. on how the fact that we are twins sometimes comes as quite a surprise to folks who discover that we have different skin tones. The women's minds are mostly preoccupied with other matters, despite the fact that race may play a noticeable role in the distinction. The girls made the decision to highlight the colors of their skin and eyes while discussing what sets them apart from one another. But instead, they chose to concentrate on the colors and styles that they found most appealing. Items that have a more feminine aesthetic are the ones that Millie is more likely to be drawn towards. There is a profound fondness that she has for the color pink. Given that I have a preference for a more tomboyish look, pink is not really my thing. This is a viewpoint of Marcia, who believes that people are profoundly influenced by the attributes they were born with. The girls, on the other hand, are firm in their assertion that they have never been subjected to any form of racism. This is due to the fact that they possess an exceptional capacity to connect with both of their parents, who come from different cultural backgrounds. Due to her appearance on Good Morning America, Millie shares her observation about how people often struggle to identify her racial background due to her unique combination of qualities that reflect both white and black influences. It's important to differentiate yourself from others in order to fully express your true self, Marcia added. A child that inherits a diverse and extensive racial history is the product of combining various sperms and eggs, is the consequence of the process. There are instances in which the egg or sperm carries genes that are solely responsible for determining a certain skin hue. It does not occur very frequently. According to the study, if both of the kid's parents have white skin, then the infant will automatically have white skin as well. In light of the fact that the persons involved come from a variety of different backgrounds, the likelihood of either scenario occurring is quite low. When a woman becomes pregnant with twins that are not similar to each other, it is feasible for both of these scenarios to take place. In addition to this, it suggests that there is a complete and utter certainty that two eggs will be fertilized by two different sperm at the same moment. An egg that carries genes of a lighter shade is fused with a sperm that carries genes of a darker shade, and another sperm that carries genes of a deeper shade is fused with an egg that has genes of the same shade. The end effect of the two infants are born with skin tones that are completely different from one another. There is an extremely low possibility that they will develop further. Given that the eggs only contain 50% of the same DNA, it is possible to draw the conclusion that the girls are not any more similar to any other group of siblings than any other group of siblings now in existence. An in-depth discussion of the ways in which characteristics of fraternal twins can be altered by a variety of events is provided by Alicia Martin, a statistical geneticist who is interviewed by National Geographic. The ancestry of parents and the complex genetic association with pigmentation are two of the aspects that are considered here. She stated that it is a regular occurrence for couples who come from a diverse background to see their fraternal twins have a stronger resemblance to one of the parents than they do to the other. There is a striking similarity between the story of the girls and that of interracial couples from Illinois who openly discuss their experience after the birth of their twins. The complexions of the two girls were completely different from one another. One of them had a fair complexion and the other had brown skin. This is a striking difference. The variance in the skin tone is said to be determined by a combination of distinct genes, as stated by Dr. Nancy L. Siegel, who is a professor of psychology at California State University and the director of the Twin Study Center. The researcher provided an explanation for the variation in skin tones, stating that it is due to the inheritance of different gene sets from each parent. The situation is similar to that of the regular fraternal twins. To put it simply, every child inherits a distinct combination of genes, one with a more vibrant set and one with a more subdued set. Monozygotic twins are created when a single fertilized egg divides into two separate embryos. It is often misunderstood that monozygotic twins are genetically identical and therefore cannot have different genes. It's worth mentioning that mutations can occur after the egg divides, resulting in the formation of monozygotic twins. The findings of the study indicate that a specific DNA modification can take place during the process of cell division. the modification can have an effect on a wide variety of bases, ranging from 1 in 10 million to 10 billion different bases. According to the findings of the researchers, the average set of twins possesses 359 genetic variations that happen during the early stages of development. This information was derived from their calculations. However, research indicates that this genetic variety accounts for only a small fraction of an individual's DNA. Identical twins, on the other hand, have distinct genetic compositions. It is possible to make the case that monozygotic twins share a remarkable degree of similarities with one another. The variance in hair color that can be found among monozygotic twins can be attributed to 2 possible factors. Furthermore, it is possible that the twins will display different expressions if they are separated before the manifestation of the genes that were responsible for the hair color. This is a possibility since it is possible that the twins will be separated. It is important to note that both individuals have the same DNA, which suggests that they inherit their hair color genes from both parents due to the fact that they are similar. Alternatively, it is possible for them to inherit the hair color of their other parent. It is something that can happen. When attempting to comprehend the manner in which pigment is dispersed throughout their bodies, there is yet another facet that must be taken into consideration. Given the circumstances, it is probable that this is the outcome of a potential problem with one of the twins or variances in their development that happened during the course of the pregnancy. The presence of 2 infants in the womb at the time in which the conditions that occurred relatively frequently. In a different situation, a somatic mutation could have an effect on the gene that regulates the pigmentation of the skin, which could result in one of the twins having a skin tone that is different from the other. On the other hand, the twins could have their hair color, facial features, and other distinctive qualities that are shared by people of both African and European origin. These characteristics can be recognized in persons of both races simultaneously. Non-identical twins, also known as fraternal twins, are formed when 2 distinct eggs are fertilized and subsequently implanted into the mother's uterus. Fraternal twins, born from separate eggs, do not have any more resemblance to each other than other siblings. It's interesting to note that non-identical twins can have different sexes. Millie and Marcia, the twins, inherited distinctive characteristics from their parents during fertilization. The twins were fortunate enough to inherit these distinctive characteristics. It has been found that certain ethnic groups have a higher incidence of twins that are not identical to each other. Also, the likelihood of older mothers giving birth to twins that are not identical is higher because they are more likely to release several eggs during the ovulation process during their pregnancy. This increases the likelihood that they will have twins who are not identical. Based on the researchers' findings, it is highly improbable for a child to have a different skin color from their parents, particularly when one of the parents is a black African and the other is white. The reason for this is that African parents possess only black skin gene variants in their DNA. As a result, they do not have any European DNA containing white skin variants to transmit. It is interesting to mention that a significant number of individuals from the Caribbean who have black skin also have European DNA. The presence of European DNA in the black gene pool can be traced back to the dark history of slavery, when many plantation owners had non-consensual relationships with female slaves. What do you think of this phenomenon? Write us in the comment section below.